Good morning, everybody. It's been a little while since I made my last video. It's a little unfortunate on my part, but because of that, I wanted to discuss something that's I find to be very important in your life that we don't do enough of, and perhaps we do a lot of these things. And what the discussion is going to be about rituals. I discuss habits. At least I had a tendency to discuss habits in my older videos. One of the things that I want to discuss is rituals and what the difference is between rituals and habits. And then I'd like to further elaborate on why rituals are more important and why we need them in our daily lives. This is just when it comes to men in general. I think women benefit from this too, but for us fatherless young men, not that I'm a young man, but for fatherless men specifically, the need for rituals is important. There was a tendency once upon a time where I think before the school systems became set up, what happened was men would take their boys with them to work the fields or to work their trade with them, right? And they weren't set up in a school system, to learn from, 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And in doing that, they learned how to talk to people in their trade, how to do the trade. They say for somebody to become I think it was Tony Robbins who had said this, and I maybe misquoting him, and I apologize if I am, but he says that if you consume 4 hours a day of content, right, pertaining to a particular subject, over 6 months you should become a subject matter expert. Well, with a child who's a sponge, what they used to do is they would follow their fathers. Say they were a merchant. They would go with their fathers on the road. They would learn the trade. They would learn the tolls. They would learn what it took to trade with between merchants or between customers and filling orders. Nobles did this, and I think that the rich today have this advantage over our youth now. They may go to boarding school, they may go to other schools and so on and so forth. But I mean, if you take an example, I think one really good example of this would be looking at Donald Trump and his sons. They learned his mannerisms. They learned how he does things. Barron Trump, he's an immaculate young man. He's 6'7", really well done, well spoken, nice young man. And he goes with his dad. You can see him present with his father most of the time. He's following in his father's footsteps to one degree or another, learning how to be successful. And I think we all need more of that. And what this does is this teaches people not just habits, but ritualism. And the difference between a habit and a ritual to me is mindfulness. A habit is something that we do, and I might get pushed back on this, and that's fine, but a habit is almost automatic, I wake up in the morning, I check my phone. That's a habit. I wake up in the morning, I take a shower. That's a habit. These are healthy habits to have. And I think healthy habits are essential because they don't require a lot of mindfulness. But rituals require mindfulness, being present, being done purposefully. Now, I said, do you serve a purpose? I asked this question. I think this is where I got it from. Was Corey Taylor. I heard him ask the question in a Stone Sour album. He said the first one. So do you serve a purpose, or do you purposefully serve, or purposely serve? And I think that you can do both. And I think that it's imperative that you know the difference between the two. It's a philosophical question that can be discussed, and I'll include that in a video at a later time. I'm pretty sure I covered that in previous videos, what I thought of that, but I can go into it a little bit more clearly at another point. But for this sake, I think that mindfulness is the big difference between habits and rituals. Rituals require your attention and attentiveness and purposefulness. And when you have that purpose and that meaning and that mindfulness involved in what it is that you're trying to accomplish, you have a clarity of mind that exists in that. It's like working through an issue with that ritual. Now, rituals can be important. Like for me, one of the rituals that I started to establish, about a year and a half ago, was ice baths. Daily ice baths, exercise. Now, I've gotten away from those things, and I'm paying the price for it now. I don't. These are just different things that I did, but instead of the gym being a habit, it was a ritual. It was a gauge of my strength. It was a gauge of my discipline in order to do that. And lately I've gotten away from that, and the gym was kind of a temple in a way for me. The ice bath was the meditation. A sauna, things like that. You need to create a schedule. Now, if your schedule doesn't allow for these things, I encourage you to make it a part of your schedule and your routine. I work really weird hours, and it's hard to set up my rituals on a daily basis. But I need to realize that I'm just now having this thought as I was coming down here today. I was thinking about that, and it's like, the ritual requires purpose and mindfulness, and I've gotten away from that. My schedule is just like, okay, well, if I make it a part of my schedule, then it requires a habit. I can do it automatically, but the ritual is important. I make time for that. I pay attention to that, and I have to set aside time for that purposely. I wrote this down. This is a little excerpt I wrote, and I will share it with you. It says that I tend to do poorly, rather more poorly, when I don't have a routine. It is noticeable in others' lives, as it happens that they tend. Well, it is noticeable in others' lives as it happens that they tend to be out of sorts when their routines or rituals have been deterred. Now, routines and rituals are a little bit kind of similar, but I think the ritual is more more mindful. Now, writing about myself here, I said, I am a creature of chaos in many ways. That is not to say that I do not have my routines or rituals, but they are very inconsistent. I wonder why it is that I do not establish and consistently carry out my rituals. Is it laziness? Oftentimes, yes, unfortunately. Other times, other things get in the way. How do I establish rituals in the inconsistent schedule that I presently have? And so I'm trying to answer that. And so some of the things that I need to do is just to make time for those things. If my schedule doesn't allow for me to do something in the morning, then I need to do that in the evening. I need to make sure that I have the resources, the tools, and the time set up for me to accomplish the things that I want to accomplish and to establish my rituals. They may not be done in the time manner that I desire them to be done, but it's important that I take time to do them. And if you do them on a regular and consistent basis, I think that you have some clarity of mind that you have done and accomplished the things that you set up to do. Now, you'll have other goals in life, but if you take time for your rituals, you will know that you have accomplished the things that you needed to accomplish. And you need to make sure that you set those things up, write them down, and have them. It's, we are the things that we do, not just the things that we say and the things that we think. More than anything, I think thought is transmissible. It's transmitted. It's radio frequencies. It's a neurochemical and electrochemical, right? So there are some physical properties, obviously, there with the thought, kind of like a radio wave. We don't have the antenna that receives it, but there is something there. Versus saying it out loud or writing it down. It's more concrete. Right? Speeching, having speech is more physical than the thought. Writing it down is more physical than the speech is. So the doing of it is making it real. It's like having a thought, then writing out the blueprint and then building the building, and now you see the building. It's sort of that way. But doing those rituals will give you a sense of purpose and a sense of duty unto yourself, and if to others, that's fine too. But having those rituals, those things that are sacred to you to accomplish, making it ritualistic and purposeful, is just going to be important for you. Us fatherless men who don't have a set of rituals, who didn't have anybody there to teach us the things that we needed to be or to do or how to succeed. I think we should make that a part of our daily lives. And as we do that purposefully and mindfully, and with good intent, with the intent there that we'll be more successful, in any other endeavors that we choose to take on. Let me know what you think of this in the rebuttals, or what your thoughts are. Leave a comment. Share this if you like the content. If you don't, hopefully I'll get better. Give me a negative critique, so let me know what I can do better. I've been told I got to simplify things a little bit more. Use less wordy words, I guess. All right, man. Y'all take care. Bye.